How old are you?
33.
Why would you be dating a 19-year-old?
What's wrong with?
I
Oh.
think that's a bit of a red flag for me.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, what do you have in common with a 19-year-old that just graduated high school?
What do I have common with a 33-year-old litigation attorney?
I don't know.
I don't.
Maybe you guys could
I'm
talk about movies
YouTuber.
in the 80s or something.
But
Red flag.
But I
But
feel
I'm
like
not
19, she's not
She
even
says
old
red
enough
flag. She says red
for
flag.
you to take her to a bar, though.
I
Like,
don't really
21.
drink like that, though.
They
I don't
both-
really
But,
drink.
I mean,
They both
let's say it's an
drink water.
event or something.
Well, so I don't go to bars or clubs. I'd rather masturbate with sandpaper than go to
I
a...
have something to add to
What's
what
that?
she said.
Let me address the age thing.
Okay.
Then I'll have to address the body count thing. So this is another one that always comes up. Men are always shamed for their preferences. Men's preferences are always almost always met with contempt, derision, shaming in one way or another. Nobody shames women for their preferences, standards, and boundaries. But so just to make something clear, most of the women like I've dated in the past couple of years, I'd say are between the age of 25 and 34. In fact, I dated a 45-year-old.
No younger than 25.
I might have gone on a date with a girl who was 21 at one point, but mostly I'm dating around my age, like mid to late 20s to early 30s. But
well, you girls, what is your perspective on like age gaps? What do you guys think? Because I feel like a lot of women, they prefer like guys that are older, right?
I think it depends.
well, let me come in on that. So, do you guys think that guys your age are immature?
Guys, our age?
Are your age? Do you think they're immature?
For the most part,
Most
yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
So how can you simultaneously hold that position, but also shame me for wanting to date someone younger? If you want to date, I assume you're more attracted to men who are older because they're more mature. Maybe they're more attractive. Maybe they have their shit together. Maybe they're more willing to commit to you. Whereas these, I mean, I don't want to speak for all the men who are younger, but they're for the streets. I'm kidding, guys. No, but
I did want to add to what she said. What if you like already fell in love with the girl and like were in a committed relationship and she lied about it and then you found out later? Would you break up with her?
Also, at what point are you asking her, what's your
What-
body count?
at what point am I asking?
Are you like
Early.
going
I
on the
mean,
first date and you're like, no?
I'm
Like,
usually not overt. I'm not overt about that sort of questioning, so I wouldn't be like, how many men have you slept with? I mean, it could somehow come up organically if we're, on the topic of that. But I mean, I'd honestly try to suss it out in other ways. I'd probably ask like, are you ever done any swinging? I think threesomes can kind of be a good indicator. More than threesomes, foursomes can kind of be an indicator of promiscuity.
I feel like
I
a lot of
think-
people would lie about that though.
The other thing is, even if you are overtly asking, there's no guarantee that they're going to tell you the truth. So, I mean, age can kind of be an indicator. Like, if they're a bit older, I mean, you can start making some assumptions. That's not a guarantee, though. I think you can. There's like some ways you can kind of suss it out. You can ask her about her relationship history. Has she had just no long-term relationships since she's 30? She's probably for the streets. Not going to lie. No offense, but if you're 30 and you haven't had any long-term relationships, but you've been casually dating, bro, that's got to be above 100, probably. I'm gonna say.
What if
But
she
if
has
she
a lot
had-
of hobbies?
What's that?
What if she has a lot of hobbies?
What do you mean a lot of hobbies?
Yeah,
Like
kind
she
of- what
keeps
kind of
herself
hobbies?
busy and, doesn't sleep around like that.
There's
just-
outliers. There's outliers, sure, but I mean,
But how are you going to determine that, like an outlier from somebody who's not an
it's tough.
outlier?
It's tough out here. I mean, there's certain kind of, does she party a lot? Does she go to bars a lot? Does she drink a lot? So these are kind of other things to kind of suss it out. So I know Santa Barbara is a very, pretty much everyone here is an alcoholic. So not at the panel, but people fucking drink heavy as fuck in Santa Barbara. Everyone's at, so especially UCSB, SBCC, very heavy party schools. So I'm probably not making any fans by saying I'm not a big drinker. I don't party. I don't go to bars. I don't go to clubs. But yeah, I think someone who's if they frequently partake in nightlife, it can be an indicator that they're a bit more promiscuous. It's not a guarantee, but if you're getting fucking tanked 3 nights a week, I can start making some assumptions. I could be wrong, but yeah, there's definitely some ways to tell. So you're giving me the death stare over there. Jesus, put it on her.
I'm just listening and analyzing.
But so okay, I addressed body count a little bit, but as far as the age goes, I mean, so you would take quarrel with like a 30-year-old dating a 20-year-old?
I mean, I feel like it depends on the situation. If somehow miraculously they were to have a lot in common and there was some depth to the relationship, I guess it wouldn't be a big deal. I don't know. I feel like there's a fine line between where it's predatory and where it's not. So it's hard to say. There's a lot of things that it depends on.
I mean, I reject that entirely. This
Okay.
idea of it being predatory, I absolutely
Can I add something to what
reject
she said?
it.
I think I agree with her that it depends, but I think it depends on the power play. If somebody is a 20-year-old girl, let's say very successful, has her career, has her things together, let's talk about celebrities. Kylie Jenner, her boyfriend 5-6 years older than her. I think in that situation is not as predatory because they have a lot in common. She has her career together.
Wait, so you're saying remove the power that she has from being this business mogul, a 5 to 6 year age gap is predatory?
Well,
how old is she? How old is Kylie?
Well, yes, compare that
She
to
in
a
her mid-20s?
32-year-old man going to a college party, picking up a college girl who doesn't
Well,
have
I
any money
don't recommend that.
and doesn't have
I'm
anything in
I'm
common
not in
with her.
fucking Del Playa trying to.
I'm not saying you.
trolling-
No.
I'm not trolling her.
I'm not.
at
I didn't
college
say it was
parties.
you, but I'm just saying in general it's different because in that case it seems like he's just looking for a girl who's younger, doesn't have money, he can manipulate, he can gaslight, all those things. But again, I think it depends on the circumstances and what they have in common. So, like if you would date a YouTuber that's maybe 21 and you have a lot in common, I wouldn't think that's creepy. But again, if you date a college girl who's 19,
So you think if I were to date a 19-year-old college girl, that would be creepy?
personally, yes.
Okay. Why? Why
Well-
is it? Articulate why.
Well, it's just imagine.
Let me ask you. I want you can answer that, but is the reverse also creepy? So there's this concept of cougars. So
Absolutely.
you think? So is the reverse? Do you take quarrel with the reverse with this? If you want to put it the exact same ages,
Again,
are you going to shame cougars?
I think
Are you
it's this-
cougar shaming? How dare you? How dare you cougar shame? I'm standing up for the cougars. Cougars, go after those college boys. Get them.
Again, I think it depends on the stage of life they're in. If you're somebody who's in their 30s, a woman with a full-time career, a job, why are you dating a boy that has to do homework till 10 p.m., or has to go to the library to study for his finals? It's kind of a little weird, But again, if it's a 20-year-old who has his job, there's nothing wrong with that. It just depends on what stages of life they're in.
Well, I mean, first off, I would say heaven forbid a man find a woman who is at her peak physical attractiveness attractive. And I think I was more physically attractive when I was younger. So there's that. I mean, there's also when you're younger, you've had fewer sexual partners, and we just talked about it. I mean, most men, whether you like it or not, value sexual purity in a woman. Now, don't get me wrong. I know some 19-year-old girls that have been fucking run through. They've hooked up with like 100 men. And I'm not even exaggerating. Chris knows her. She's not in the... Chris doesn't know her in the biblical sense, but he knows who I'm talking about. And she's been with 100 guys. But it happens to be the case that someone who's younger has had fewer sexual partners. Men find that an attractive quality in women.
I feel like that's a big reason why, you see older guys, there's a certain point where the girl starts getting older that, she gets hit on a lot less by guys, because I feel like the focus is on younger girls, I feel like, for guys, because they want to find, someone who's less promiscuous, and the higher chance of them is when they're younger.